what the world can learn from Africa's young people. Aya Chebbi is a Pan-African feminist and Tunisian diplomat whose mission is the liberation of African women and girls. She rose to prominence as a voice for democracy and a political blogger during Tunisia's peaceful revolution in 2010-2011, which toppled a 23-year dictatorship. She is one of Forbes Africa's 50 most powerful women.
I flew all the way from Tunisia. I can tell you it's worth it, seeing all your faces and being around you. My story perhaps started as many young people in Africa. A story of feeling powerless, frustrated, angry, and then finding power in my voice. The story of moving from fighting against to fighting for. And as a young woman, I mean, to be honest, you have to fight every day just to exist. Don't wear this, learn how to cook. When are you getting married? I think my mom gave up on that one. But growing up, I had to fight a lot of people in my fairly conservative Muslim family to just be and become. And the only thing that kept me going is telling myself, your power is your radical self. Find it. I went on to fight the system, the dictatorship in my country, Tunisia. 12 years ago, we did a revolution. I still remember the silence, the noise, the tear gas, the live bullets. I remember the chanting, Shol, Hurriya, Karama, Wataniya. And that's what the world can learn from Africa's young people. We take to the streets when no one listens. And I really want to honor today a lot of African youth-led, female-led movements on the continent. The Fees Must Fall, the Ballet Citoyen, the Yonamar, the Ansas. I mean, as millennials, we made the news until we became the news. But the newsrooms forget that it is young women who've been on the front line of this activism. And like many young women, I was on the streets, I got arrested, I got jailed, I got blacklisted and deported from other African countries. And it made me a fearless activist, but I thought at some point, I've been focusing on the bad guys. Voice is not enough if we're not having a seat and a say at the table. 65 is the average age of African leadership. 20 is the average age of the population. We have to do something about this, I thought. So I jumped into the belly of the beast to shake things up in the corridors of power. I became the first ever African Union envoy on youth, the youngest diplomat in the organization, working with 55 African states, 55 egos. And I carried the responsibility of 400 million young Africans. Why the African Union? For me, the answer is Pan-Africanism. Our generation can transform this continent if we are borderless. We can't waste time fighting each other and competing with each other. We should fight for each other. We should fight for our shared future. I don't think there should be a place for Afrophobia on our continent. Racism, colonialism, sexism, otherism is not part of our Ubuntu. So for me, Pan-Africanism is the answer. And at the African Union, I managed to work with heads of states and governments and get them to listen and get them to practice intergenerational co-leadership and to respect their youthful population. And I would, just tell them in closed rooms with decision makers, stop stigmatizing young people as gun holders. Work with them as peace builders. Stop extending the retirement age. There's so many young people who want to go into public service. Let's get young women co-lead democratic transitions. And since I finished my mandate, I've seen the increase of more young people, more young women into ministerial and leadership positions than ever since the 80s. I see more young people now into the African Union because they understand that shouldn't be a club of older men deciding the future of the rest of us. So we should all be getting involved. And I think that's what the world can learn, that our generation is the solution, not the problem. Of course, I received my share of patriarchy doing this journey as any other industry. But how much I love being an African woman. I am a conscious objector of the status quo. And I am who I am because I am the daughter of Sayyida Manubiya, the saint, of Aziza Uthmana, the princess, of Al-Kahina, the warrior. I'm the daughter of Tawhida Bashikh, the doctor, of Alisa, the founder of Carthage. It's all because the wisdom, the strength, the brilliance of my women ancestors make me believe that I have to value femininity as an archetype for leadership. And in my work every day, there is no Pan-Africanism without feminism. And that's what the world can learn, that the future is young, female, and African. It's all together, one package. Take it. And yes, feminism doesn't mean I hate men. I don't shave or I burn my bra, even though the latter feels really good. But it means I am free. I believe in the liberation of everyone. The future I want for Africa, for African women, is about freedom. We deserve better. And I will continue to fight furiously for that future. So I hope you will join me on that fight. Thank you.